Let's visualize your trip to Japan. You've just arrived in Tokyo, very excited to start your tour and see the city, but you're also thinking about spending some time in nature and want to hike nearby mountains. So you got yourself thinking, which mountain should I hike? I've got you. There's this national park in Kanto area that has beautiful mountains and gorges, which is very accessible from the cities of Tokyo, Saitama, and Yamanashi. This is Chichibu Tama National Park. It has some of the best hikes in Kanto area. Some are easy, but some are a bit tricky with chains and rocky sections. Now, let me show you some of the best hikes I've done in Chichibu Tama National Park. Mount Kumotori. Kumotori Yama is the highest peak in Tokyo at 2,017 meters, usually a day hike from Kamosawa bus stop. But the best activity you can do in Mount Kumotori is watching the sunrise. So basically staying at either the emergency hut or Kumotori Sanso is the best way to enjoy this trip. Views of Mount Fuji from the peak is amazing in Mount Kumotori. Mount Kinpu. Kinpu-san is the main peak in the Okuchichibu mountain range, standing at 2,599 meters. A trip to the peak will reward hikers with great views of Mount Fuji. There's a big rock at the peak of Mount Kinpu, which people are trying to climb, but it is sacred, so I advise anyone not to climb it or write something on it as a sign of respect. And safety reasons, of course. It is not ours to begin with. Mount Kobushi. Kobushi-gatake is the source of Arakawa and Shinano rivers. It has a dense forest, which is a great destination in fall. Momijigari or autumn foliage viewing is one of the best activities you can do in this mountain. The trip to Mount Kobushi could go for days, but some hikers do it as a day hike. I recommend doing Mount Kobushi as a multi-day hike from Mount Kinpu. Mount Daibosatsu. Daibosatsu is an easy hike during the peak season, very accessible to the public. All kinds of hikers can enjoy the views from the ridge of Mount Daibosatsu. You can definitely make the hike harder and longer by taking the other route from the base of the mountain. Mount Daibosatsu is a famous pass during the Edo era. Mount Mizugaki. Mizugaki Yama is quite an adventure, very easy to do and very easy to access during the peak season. The rocky peaks of Mount Mizugaki is stunning. Rock climbers love Mount Mizugaki. For hikers, it's a 5-hour hike from Mizugaki Sanso. You can definitely make this hike to a multi-day one by camping at Fujimi Daira and climbing Mount Kinpu the next day. Nishizawa Gorge, a beautiful gorge just below Mount Kobushi. Nishizawa Gorge is famous for its 7 pool falls, but the trail going there has been closed for quite a while now. I'm waiting patiently for the day it'll open again, but I guess there's no timetable for it yet. This is a loop hike from the bus station. The loop features different kinds of waterfalls and emerald green waters of the gorge. A very relaxing hike, which is perfect for beginners. Just be careful hiking in the rainy season. Some parts of the trail are slippery and very steep. Shosenkyo Gorge. One of the most recommended hikes in the autumn season because of how lovely the autumn foliage is in this area. By the end of the gorge, you'll see Sengatake waterfall. Its beauty is unexplainable, but expect a lot of people. The gorge is an easy hike, but if you'd like to make it a great exercise, try climbing up to Rakanji Yama without taking the roadway. Mount Kentoku. One of the technical hikes in Kanto area and definitely one of my favorites. It's very easy to access from Enzen Station during the peak season, but a bit tricky to reach during the off-season. Taking a taxi will solve this problem though. This hike takes about 7 hours to complete if you're doing a loop. The rocky and chain sections of Mount Kentoku are exciting and a good practice to those who would like to conquer the Japanese Alps in summer. Mount Ryokami, another technical mountain in Chichibu Tama National Park. This mountain is quite infamous because many hikers get lost in this mountain apart from the danger of falling because of the several chain sections of the trail. This mountain is very beautiful in the autumn season, definitely one of my favorite mountains in fall. There are 2 trails that will lead you to the peak. One is a non-technical route from Hinata Oyaguchi, very accessible by bus, and the other one is from Hachotoge, which is accessible by car. Mount Mitake, a beginner-friendly trail in Okutama area. Mount Mitake is quite famous because of the shrine next to it. It can easily be accessed using a cable car. You can extend the hike towards Mount Odake. It is one of the 200 famous mountains in Japan because of the wonderful views of Mount Fuji from its peak. But honestly, I've never seen Mount Fuji from here, not even once. There's a lot of great hikes here in Okutama, and you can also visit the canyons in this area. It's an outdoor destination very near Tokyo.
Finally, a view.
If you are visiting Tokyo, why not put some of these mountains into your itinerary? I'm pretty sure it will reward you with great experiences during your stay in Japan. So, as always, don't hesitate to reach out if you have some questions regarding these hikes. Be safe out there, and I'll see you in the mountains.